everyone, welcome to another video. On August the 18th, Wizards of the Coast had their special event Wizards Presents, where they had a review of what's to come in their staple products, mainly Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering. And amongst the announcements for Magic the Gathering, they had one that was about an upcoming set coming up in 2023 with the Lord of the Rings. So without any further ado, let's dive into it. The event, which was hosted by Sydney Goodman, started with the announcement of an upcoming set for Magic the Gathering called The Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth. It is a set for a tabletop trading card game, which is the staple of Magic the Gathering. They are cards that you can play with, like the Pokemon or the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but that are also collectible cards. And it's got the likes of Gandalf, as you can see in this image, celebrating Bilbo's birthday with the fireworks that he was very well known for by the hobbits. And at first people thought, well, this means maybe that it's going to be a good set and that they are going to respect the characters, with the Balrog having no wings and Frodo Baggins, because he is a very familiar, well-known character to the fans. And it would appear like things were going to be okay with this set. The good thing, or the extra thing, let's say, about this is that they were going to have borderless cards that, when put together, would create a different image, like a bigger scene or a bigger image, like those trading cards that Marvel used to have, that you would put them together and then they created a complete scene, or like a puzzle of sorts. And this particular scene, that is the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, is what caught the fans' eye and also what sparked the controversy. If you pay close attention to the bottom part of this image here, you would see a human figure. Now, in this enhanced version of it, you can see that the figure is cloaked, has a flaming sword, and also has short hair and black skin. Many fans have identified this character as Aragorn, son of Arathorn, and of course they have complaints about it. They think that once again they are using Tolkien's work to try to update it and try to cover up for modern sensitivities, or to follow the agenda, or to push for that agenda. And while I never ever minimize any fan sensation or any fan reaction or feeling, I don't see that this character is really Aragorn. Do they think that it is because he has a flaming sword? And Anduril, the name of his sword, is literally Flame of the West or something like that? I don't really know. But if that is the case, and that's why this character is identified as Aragorn, well, then once again, yeah, we have some subversion there. If you see other features here that can identify this character as Aragorn that I have not noticed, please let me know down below in the comments. But try to delve into this and see whether this is true or not. I also came across Boundary to Comics and an article that they wrote with the heading that, in fact, Wizards of the Coast have race-swapped Aragorn. And of course that has happened because they are trying to update the work, and try to care for modern sensitivities, which is something that we have seen time and time again. So we're going to take a look at what Wizards of the Coast actually had to say about these changes. On their official page they wrote, quote, "We are unabashedly excited for the Lord of the Rings and for the vision of the timeless stories that we have worked so hard to bring to Magic in partnership with the people at Middle-earth Enterprises. The look and the feel for the world, the characters, the weapons, the locations, and the story moments are going to be intimately familiar yet fresh and relevant for a wider audience, end quote. Notice how from the very beginning here, which is how you are trying to sell this to other people, they are even contradicting themselves, because they are talking about how these are timeless stories, yet they are trying to bring a familiar look, yet something fresh as well, for new fans and for a wider audience. The same problem that we had with the Rings of Power. If you remember, it was Jennifer Salk, I think, who said that they needed to reach a wider, massive audience for this to be successful, and that is why they are trying to update Tolkien. So it's basically the same words, the same narrative, even the same script, if you will, and it's not changing anything at all. It's going with the same situation. It's woke garbage, and nothing more than that. Only woke garbage. The article continues, quote, "The folks at Middle-earth Enterprises take their roles as stewards very seriously, and every decision about characters has been made with deep reverence to the original. With that in mind, together we set out to make a set that follows two guiding principles: diversity and originality." Once again, look at how they are phrasing this, alright? They are talking about how Middle-earth Enterprises, which by the way is the same sub-company that Embrace Group bought just this week, they are stewards that take their jobs very seriously, and they have a deep respect and reverence for the original, yet they are focusing on two guiding principles that are diversity and originality. Now, at first glance, this might be like, here we go again, but they are trying to spin it when it comes to diversity once more. So let's take a look at that as well. The diversity goal reads, quote, "The Lord of the Rings is about the different peoples of Middle-earth coming together to fight Sauron, finding strength in their diversity. We want to make this appealing story fresh and relevant to an even wider audience," end quote. So as you can see here, they are trying to tell you absolutely nothing about what they are trying to say with diversity. They're going with, well, Tolkien's work is diversity in itself. Gee, you think? We didn't really know, as Tolkien fans, all of us that enjoy these books, we didn't know that it was about different races coming together to overcome a common enemy, This is one of the points that every single fan has been pointing out, talking about, when the Rings of Power adaptation began with, we want to make this for a wider audience and we need more diversity and all that sort of thing, because it's exactly the very same point. There is no point in bringing modern diversity, which means race and gender swapping characters left and right, because this work is already diverse in itself, so it's completely stupid and pointless to bring any other sort of diversity to the table. And they leave this conveniently ambiguous, don't you think? It's very ambiguous, but the final part, they are trying to make this something fresh and relevant for a wider audience, which also means modern audience, and in this particular case for this company, the woke audience, which is their audience now. As for the second goal of the article reads, quote, "The goal of this set is to express the story and setting of the Lord of the Rings in cards for Magic the Gathering. Countless prior efforts have painted vivid pictures of this world. Our goal is a modern take on the world of J.R.R. Tolkien, lovingly crafted for a new generation of players and fans," end quote. So as you can see here, it's again a modern take on this world, a modern view of this work, a modern interpretation, now in graphic form of course, of the work that you so much love as a Tolkien fan. I just ask anyone that is familiar with Wizards of the Coast, are you really surprised? Because if you remember, this is the same company that caved in to the demands of some deranged individuals that saw in orcs racist interpretations of black people, and they said, no, we are not going to go that way, we are going to change things, we're going to do better, we're going to be better. and they have now filled their Dungeons and Dragons material with woke garbage. And were you really expecting them to do different in this case when you are talking about one of the most popular works of fantasy out there that is now getting butchered by another company like Amazon? And that butchering, of course, is not enough because you have to change everything. You have to add critical race theory, you have to add intersectionalism, you have to add femininity and all that woke garbage. Were you really expecting something different? Because let me tell you that if that was the case with you, or you were somewhat hopeful because of the first images with Gandalf, which has a year at least since it was showcased, and you saw, well, there's accuracy there, and if you thought, well, the Balrog has no wings, so maybe this is going to be accurate to Tolkien's work, you were just fooling yourselves. Because if anything, Wizards of the Coast is always going to be pro-woke, pro-left, pro-idiocy, and you are never ever going to have a quality product from this company in modern times. So there you have it. They are going to be changing. If this is not Aragorn, you can expect them to change many other things in this set. So if you were excited about it and you really wanted to get it, it's going to come in the first part of 2023. Think about it twice, because not only are Magic the Gathering sets expensive, when they have these sort of licenses, they are stupidly expensive. So I would think twice about investing my money on that. But let me know your opinion down below in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. See you next time.